Hello, friends. It's me again, and it's time for a continuation of a story, a part 2 to the Legends of the Bladebeards series, from our friend Not a Milady. This is, it's part 2 of Legends. I said that already. I'm really good at this YouTube thing, can you tell? Welcome back, all. Gather round for the second installment of The Legend of the Bladebeards. Like Dante's Circles of Hell, each beard I introduce will be more atrocious than the last. I hope you didn't think Mini-Beard was as bad as they got. Oh no. Mini-Beard is simply the first circle. Level 1, Child's Play, Walk in the Park. You get the idea. The beard we shall examine today shall be known as Crispy Beard. Oh. He was a mere lad of about 30, soft, pink, and rotund, with a disheveled bowl cut of straw-colored hair beneath a weathered black fedora. Oh boy. His blonde eyebrows were hardly visible, but the yellow peach fuzz and crumbs that speckled his jowls were prominent. Crispy Beard had missed the first class, so I didn't meet him until the second. My new fencing jacket had not yet arrived, and I had resigned myself to wearing the plague jacket from the week before. As a side note, I did develop a rash on my arm the morning after the first fencing class. It cleared up quickly, but I'm positive it's from that jacket. I itch just remembering it. Luckily for me, however, Godfather kept his promise to bring me his spare jacket. It was a little large, but a much better fit than the plague jacket, not to mention a hell of a lot cleaner. Godfather had the class sit on the floor of the gym as he demonstrated some new techniques. About 10 minutes after the class was supposed to start, the gym door opened with a loud bang. We all jump and look towards the source of the sound. And there it stood, Crispy Beard, in all of his red-faced puffy glory. Godfather stared at him with a polite yet annoyed smile, as he had been in the middle of speaking. I thought the class was supposed to start at 6, not 5:30. Yeah, it starts at 5:30, so you're only a little late. Have a seat anywhere. I'm just explaining the exercise. I was listening to Godfather, so I didn't realize Crispy Beard had sat down next to me until I felt a heavy, clammy, greasy palm pressed down on one of my fingers. I pulled away quickly and glanced at Crispy Beard. He just looked at me and shrugged. No apologies for crushing my fingers. I'm sure it was an accident, and he didn't notice where he'd put his hand, but it did hurt. I kept listening to Godfather, but noticed that my fingers felt sticky and kind of gritty. I looked at my hand and noticed that my fingers were dotted in orange crumbs where Crispy Beard had set his hand. I snuck a harder look at him and noticed that he was covered in these crumbs. They were on his hands, his shirt, his face, his pants. I also couldn't help but notice a dark stain on the crotch of his basketball shorts. I didn't let myself speculate on what that could have been and tried to focus on what Godfather was saying. The smell made it difficult. Granted, old Crispy was not the only stinky beard in the room, but he was the closest to me. He smelled like a vomit casserole baked to perfection in a hot car. Ew. When Godfather was finished with the instruction, it was once again time to enter the closet. I still had to fight my way through a horde of beards to retrieve a decent weapon and mask, but at least I had a clean jacket. As the plague jacket was the last one available, once again, guess who had the pleasure of being stuck with it? If you guessed Crispy Beard, you'd win. Crispy Beard was not happy with this, and he let Godfather know. I'm not wearing this jacket. It stinks and it's too small. I'm really sorry. School cut our funding, and we haven't been able to afford new jackets for a while. You're welcome to get your own for next time, but this is all we have today. Well, I'm not wearing it. I'll fence without one. I can't let you do that. You're welcome to just watch today if you want, but you have to have a jacket on to spar. Crispy Beard's eyes locked onto me. I had sort of been listening and delayed in putting on the jacket I had. Crispy Beard pointed his sausage finger in my direction. I'll just take that one. It's obviously too big for her. No, I lent that one out to OP specifically. I'm taking it. Crispy Beard lunged towards me, hands outstretched. I fled to the other side of the gym and slid behind a stack of chairs where I quickly threw the jacket on. I emerged and came face to face with an angry Beard. Give me that jacket! I'm already wearing it. Give it to me! Are you going to try and take it off of me? Crispybeard looked back incredulously at Godfather. Dude, leave her alone, and either wear this jacket or don't. I don't care. We gotta get going. Crispybeard dejectedly accepted the plague jacket. It fit him nearly perfectly. They were a match made in heaven as far as I was concerned. Crispybeard also tried to put the mask on over his fedora. Obviously that didn't work. So he put the mask on and then set the fedora atop his mask. Oh, I wish I could have seen that. That sounds extra. So extra. Godfather told him to take it off and put it in the corner and to quit screwing around. We began the exercise. I was once again paired up with Mini-Beard, and Crispy-Beard was paired with another beard who we'll call Dog-Beard. He always smelled like canned dog food. Ew. He'll have his own story later. Oh boy. Crispy-Beard kept stopping to throw evil looks my way, but I ignored him. His inattentiveness was annoying Dog-Beard, and Dog-Beard finally got fed up with Crispy-Beard and lightly slapped him on the bare leg with a foil to get his attention. As a reminder, Crispy-Beard was in basketball shorts. There's a reason for fencing knickers, or at least long pants are recommended whenever you're sparring. Those foils? Yeah, they hurt, especially the schools. These foils had struck each other so many times that pieces of metal would chip off of them, creating several sharp ridges along the blade. What Dog-Beard had intended to be a light tap ended up slicing Crispy-Beard's calf. Oh my god. It was no deeper than a paper cut, but it looked like it hurt. Crispy-Beard yelped and then looked down at his leg. I'm bleeding! Sorry, man. Crispy-Beard got in Dog-Beard's face and let out a high-pitched scream. I'm not exactly sure it qualifies as the legitimate Neckbeard, but I've never heard a sound like that before or since. It didn't seem to faze Dog-Beard too much, though, because Dog-Beard just burst out laughing. Godfather came over to inspect Crispy-Beard's wound, while Crispy-Beard shrieked curses at Dog-Beard. Godfather sent Dog-Beard to work with another pair while he fetched the first aid kit for Crispy-Beard. When class was over, Crispy-Beard threw his equipment to the middle of the floor, slammed his fedora on his head, then disappeared into the mist, never to be seen again. As a matter of fact, several beards ended up dropping the class within the following weeks. I guess either the physical activity was too much for them, or it wasn't what they expected. I'll get more into that next time. Thank you all for reading, and I hope you stick around for part 3. Oh, I am absolutely sticking around for part 3. This has created some interesting things. See, I know there's some other stories. I can't quite think of the name off the top of my head, but there's another more well-known, I guess, relatively famous, or infamous, I guess, Neckbeard story of someone who was also in a fencing class, but only with like 1 or 2, I think. And now that you've pretty much said this is like a school function, it doesn't surprise me that there are so many, because most fencing classes, like if you're in the area I am, that would be considered something you have to sign up for and pay for, which is something a lot of neckbeards just wouldn't do unless they already had access to a pretty good amount of money. But if it's a school process, if it's like a class or like an elective or whatever, well, of course, anybody can go, so of course they'll be there. But fencing, like a lot of things, is physical activity. It's a lot of physical activity. I had some neckbeard friends years ago who, well, they also were into the whole gotta be the katana sword fighter type. I had basically gone with them to do the, my dad called it essentially station drills, and it's essentially what you have to do whenever you're like responding to a situation as a police officer. Now, eventually you train with like, you know, an actual weapon, but mostly they give you a plastic, essentially it's just a plastic brick in the shape of, vaguely in the shape of a gun, that's just filled with metal to give you the, this is the weight. You need to be used to the weight. Because you're not actually firing at anything, and you're just needing to get used to, like, go here, now go here, now go here. And, like, it's just a lot of physical activity. And they were convinced that my wonderful neckbeard bros back in the day were convinced that they were going to be, like, these awesome airsoft team. They were going to be the best paintball team and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, my dad has all these, books because he used to teach at the academy. So he knows all this stuff. And he, I asked him for it. So he just had, I would like to say that like it's one of those things where it's like, oh yes, there are proper manuals. I'm like, no, they're just Xerox sheets that they like bound because it's, it's a nice police department, but this is also a really poor parish, so, it happens. But either way, they actually were a pretty good exercise, and it was like this whole idea of knowing your surroundings, knowing what you need to be behind, knowing what you can do. A lot of the Neckbeards had it in their head that they would do this whole thing like an action movie, and, like, I can hide behind, like, this tree or whatever, but, like, a lot of manuals will tell you, like, don't ever hide behind anything you think might even be slightly smaller than you. If you're going to take cover behind something, make sure it's thick, make sure it's big. The bigger the better. You're just safer that way. So they decided that we needed to do this because I told them, like, oh yeah, my dad does that kind of stuff. And we went to the to the cane field in the middle of, like, I think it would have been late fall because the cane had already been cut. So it's just this big open field. And watching Neckbeards try to do, like, police PT drills is kind of amazing. Because they were all, like, really out of shape, and we're all convinced the first go-round that you needed to do, like, everything with gear on and everything, and I kept trying to tell them, like, man, that's probably not a good idea, because even then, like, what I know from my parents' time at the academy was just like, yeah, you don't start with full gear, because you need to be, like, in shape and ready to do it first. And then you work up to the gear. That's like weightlifting. You go little by little. There's always going to be more things for you to worry about, but you want to get your stuff, in order. You don't want to carry a live weapon because you're just learning how to do all this stuff. Wait until this running and hiding and stuff is in memory, then you can worry about the weapon. But they were convinced they had to go. Like, big manly, we're tough guys. So, off we go to the cane field. And there's, like, I think 7 stations that you're supposed to hit. And it's supposed to be different ways of, like, finding cover, aiming. The whole thing is find cover, aim, return fire. And then you just repeat the process, but it's in different, like, formations. It's different ways. So, like, this is standing, this is kneeling, you gotta lay under this, you gotta go over this. It's pretty standard stuff. It's not like, oh my god, amazing, but it's just like, yeah, I know, if you're a cop, you kind of have to know this. And I think they made it through about 2 before you could, like, hear every single one of them just and it's just like, guys, I really don't think we should be doing this in full gear, and I don't think that you're ready for this kind of stuff. So, I really wish that this story started as, like, and then it turned into a challenge, and then they turned it around, and then they may not be the best airsoft or paintball team in the state, but by gosh, they got in shape. No, they did it once, and then decided that was really hard, and that was the last we ever did it. I still have a bunch of those manuals, though. They're, like, from, like, the 70s. They're all police manuals from the 70s, so they're not applicable to anything anymore, but the calisthenics are still pretty good. All the workout routines, it's like, yeah, those work. So, I wanted to share that story alongside this, because just the thought of all these different Neckbeards deciding they're going to take fencing so they can be, like, the next great anime sword-fighting hero, only to realize swords are actually just big sticks made of metal that have blades on them, and they are heavy. And you kind of need to work out in order to swing that thing around. And that's not a thing they really like. That's not a thing the Neckbeard crowd is okay with. So, yeah, it's kind of funny watching that play out. And I seriously still wish I could see that guy try to put the fencing mask on and then put on his fedora. Oh god, that just sounds magical. I wish I could see that. So thank you for sharing this wonderful tale with us once again, Nata Milady, and I look forward to the next part. This is going places. So if you all enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this kind of stuff. Apparently that's a thing you're supposed to say. I don't know. I'm not a very good YouTuber. I have a Ko-Fi, which is full of really stupid goals. You can donate to those, and then I'll make terrible videos about them. It's, you know, what I do. I also have a merch store if you'd like to buy a Moonhorse t-shirt. We're supposed to be getting hats. I really want to make Moonhorse-themed fedoras, but I don't think Threadless will let me, so I'm trying to find another place that will. But so far, I'm not having any luck. I have a subreddit, r/Moonhorse Stories, if you'd like to send a story. That's where this one came from, so I will see it. And I have a Discord server, which you can join. The links to all that kind of stuff are below this video. And every Saturday there's a live stream, so maybe I'll see you there. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.